Scout salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
A scout in prayer. Let us bow our heads and say in prayer to ask the blessing of Almighty God upon this quarter and among those that are present. Our Father, because we come here on the rock, thankful for the privilege we have being able to be in the presence of these young people who have aspired to this great position of being able to be honored in these scouts. Dear Lord, may they go ahead and line up and be leaders as they have showed their ability to be. And may each of us, dear Lord, give them the respect, dear Lord, and the patience and guidance they need, that we might progressively, Father, be able to be proud of not only these young men, but the other young men who are represented in scouting. And dear Lord, we thank you for those who have helped them to obtain this rank. And we ask to be of those scoutmasters, both present, dear Lord, and those in the future. In Jesus' precious holy name, amen.
Please be seated. Before we get started with our formal ceremony, I wanted to take a moment to thank our committee. If everyone would be willing in the committee, if they please come forward. First of all, Kenneth who is our committee chairman. We have Evan Hand, he is on the committee now as he was Mr. Pridemore's assistant scoutmaster. Mary Rose Mansion, our wonderful treasurer. Don Auxier. He is also a committee member. Is Mike Jones here? Oh, there we go. Thank you, Mike. And of course, the best one on the committee of all, Mike Judy, would you come forward? And then Mike Pridemoore, our former scoutmaster, and then Dennis II, who is now our current scoutmaster. I would like to publicly, of course, thank these people who have really made the scouting really what it is. Mike was my assistant 10 years ago, and he took over and became scoutmaster for 9 years. And so if Mike, if you did want to come up here, we have a presentation for each of the members, and you may want to say a few words.
I appreciate seeing such a big crowd here today. It makes my heart glad that we have so many people that are interested in the scouting program. I got a call from Dick on the telephone last night, or the night before last, and he said, we're thinking of making some presentations, and could you get up and say a few words? And he said that the ceremony was going to be so serious that maybe I could lighten up here a little bit at the beginning, so I'm going to do my best. I've kind of warned you ahead of time, so if it sounds like it might be funny, laugh. It's been a while since I've been involved in anything in town. I kind of hung up my scoutmaster shingle about a year ago, so it has been a while since I've been interested in anything, but I do want to let everybody know that I have been insulted already this evening because I came in and Mr. Hand wanted to know how long my part of the program later on was going to be, and I said, 3 or 4 minutes tops. And he said, well, I probably better sit down because he said, I know how your 3 or 4 minutes are. I want to start out, I guess, with Mike Jones. no postman jokes. So I think I might have found a small halfway funny real estate joke, because that's what he's doing now. I heard there was a person that was a potential house buyer that got hold of Mike and said that they wanted to buy a house, but they wanted a bathroom that was really American. And Mike looked him right in the eye and says, well, I could probably find you something like that, but how far from the house does it have to be? Does it have to have a window? So that kind of tells you about some of the help that Mike's given me over the years, and he's always eager to go that extra distance. And we do appreciate having him for so long, supporting the trooper in the community. And it's good people like him and the rest of them we see standing up here that have helped make it worthwhile for me as a scout leader. Next, we have Kenny Greenwell. I was hoping to kind of save him for last, because I got all kinds of things I can say about Kenny. Kenny has been Troop Committee chairman for quite a long time, and definitely did everything that we needed done on a committee level. And basically, he wouldn't even have to call Kenny. He'd make up an agenda for the committee meeting that somehow or other he would know exactly what we needed to talk about, and we'd get it all taken care of. But I was fortunate enough in 1988 to have Kenny as an advisor on our high-venture Phillips trip. And he had some of the strangest eating habits of anybody I've ever run across in the scouting movement. And that says a lot, because some of these guys here in the audience, some of these younger guys, will eat bugs. And to say that somebody is strange in their eating habits, that's definitely saying something. Kenny liked to eat raw green beans. And I heard a joke about Kenny, and I don't know whether it's true or not, but, you know, he was one of these guys that he always had something in his hands to film on that he was eating. And I think he's that way at home, too. I heard they got invited to a banquet, and Kenny went up and filled his plate up 4 times. And somebody leaned over to him and was sitting next to him and said, Kenny, isn't that kind of embarrassing for you to go back 4 times and be having all that food? And he says, no. He says, I just tell him it's for Ruth. It was appropriate for Mr. Hand. Maybe the guys that went to film on the last trip could tell you one that would fit him pretty well, but I didn't find anything specific on him. I do know he cooks a meat campfire dinner. I think one time when we went on a camp out, and it was kind of up to all of the girls to buy their own food and do their own cooking and stuff. Mr. Hand said, we'll just go in on our own, we'll take care of ourselves. So while they were eating hot dogs that were about half burned on the outside, and potato chips and cold baked beans and that kind of stuff, we were having steak and fried mushrooms and pork chops and all that kind of stuff. Mr. Hand took care of all that for me. And we had a lot of little hungry faces standing around with the drool kind of coming out of the corner of their mouth. And Mr. Hand said, you know, even though we had leftovers, he said, if you want to do this, guys, you can buy your own food and cook it. So they didn't get much help from him, but I appreciate him anyway. Next, Mrs. Mansion. Mr. Klusman mentioned that Mrs. Mansion was our treasurer, and she has been doing that for a long time, but also she had a real important function for me for several years when I was involved, where she took care of our transportation. And her son Stephen was in the troop then, and basically on the Tuesday meeting before the camp out, she would get a note from Stephen, or he'd just come home and say, well, we got this many guys going, and Primer says we need so many trucks and so many cars and all this, and then it would be her job between that Tuesday night and the weekend, and all the transportation lined up going out, and all the transportation lined up going back. I know that had to be a real hectic job for her sometimes, and we really appreciated her doing that, but I did find a little joke that I think is appropriate as far as her taking care of our bank account. I have got to be the world's worst checkbook person, and I was so glad to find somebody. She's chuckling because she knows it's true. I was so glad to find somebody that would take that out of my hands, so I didn't have to worry about bouncing checks. That when she came along and said she'd do it, I said, great. So I had that deal set up with her where, call me if the account gets under $100. And that's what she did. It got under $100, I go back and checks. But anyway, I heard the first time she went into the bank that she went up to the teller and she said, I want to check the balance. She doesn't want to check my balance. And I heard that Some of them are funny, some of them aren't funny. Dr. Auxier, I remember he made a trip down to the Scout Museum in Texas with us, and he and I got to ride in his car, and we had some good conversations going down, and he's been helping out for a long time, and he's one of these guys that you like to have around because he's always calm and cool and collected, he doesn't get upset about anything, and I don't know whether he has a dog at home he kicks when he gets home at night or not. But I did find, and I'm not this joke, that I figured, hey, I'll tell this to Don's up here, and that's what he does for a living. I heard he had a patient who was from Czechoslovakia, and the guy was having trouble with his sight. He thought maybe he was going blind, so the guy came in, and Doc Auxier got the chart out and asked him to read it. And the standard eye chart has the letters C, B, K, P, N, W, X, S, C, Z, and Y. And the doc asked him if he could read it, and the Czech says, not only can I read it, he says, I know that guy. And I didn't bring anything to say to Mr. Stanton, but I am very appreciative to have him around and to have the troop going. I know that Mr. Kluzner put 13 years in building up the scout troop in Loogootee, and I had it for about 9 as a scoutmaster. And when you've got that kind of investment in scouting and you believe in the program as much as both of us do, you're very glad when somebody comes along and says, yeah, I'll take it over and I'll do what I can with it. And so, to be serious with Mr. Stanton, we are very appreciative of having him here and having him do all of those things that a scoutmaster has to do and spend all that time that a scoutmaster has to spend on campouts and meetings and planning and all those different things that he has to do, and I am real thankful to have him. I saved Mr. Kluzner and Mrs. Kluzner for last. Yeah, you're right, Kenneth. Basically, these are the people that kind of inspired me to get involved in scouting, and are the ones that helped me stay active for so long. After Dick stepped down as scoutmaster, he was my committee chairman for several years, and basically he did all those important things that kind of fell through the cracks when I was trying to juggle too much. And I say he did it, but I really think Judy did most of it. He just took the credit. Anyway, I don't know whether any of you know it or not, but Dick had a medical spell out there a while back where he was in the hospital for a while. It was pretty serious for a little bit. And I found a joke I thought was real appropriate for that, even though maybe you shouldn't be noticing people. Anyway, it seems that I heard that after Dick had gone to the hospital, they gave him all kinds of medication and all this kind of stuff, so he was about halfway out of it. And he had a couple of nurses that were watching out for him because his condition was pretty serious and all this. But Judy went rushing to the hospital, and she went to the nurse there on his floor that was kind of taking charge of him. She wanted to know, how is it? How's my husband? The nurse looked at her and she replied, oh, he's quite dopey. And Judy looked at her and she said, I know that, but how's his health? So anyway, I hope by making fun of all these people up here that you realize that I have a deep affection for all of them, and they've all contributed a lot of time and a lot of energy to making scouting and Loogootee what it's become. All those adventure trips that we took, we had Boys Go to the National Jamboree, we had Eagle Scouts, all of those things, none of them could have come about without people like this that were dedicated and willing to spend time to do all those things that needed to get done to make those things happen. And so we have some plaques to give them this evening. You can help me with this? Yes. Anybody want to be telling me? I got one more. I was going to tell one about the guys that always make fun of me, the guys in the troop, always make fun of me about losing my hair. And I was going to tell a joke, and I think I'm going to tell it. I'm going to tell it. I had a friend a couple of years ago that said I was starting to get some gray hairs. And I don't know who it could have been. It could have been Kenneth, or it could have been Josh, or it could have been David, or it could have been, well, maybe it wasn't Phillips or Jake, but I was going to say that I went to take my re-exam for my driver's license, and it asks on the driver's license what color your hair is. And I didn't really know what to put. If I got hair going gray, they would have said, well, probably you should put NA, but not Y. Okay, Mr. Blizzard is going to pass out plaques and appreciation to everyone. And again, this is one of those kind of things where I know he made these plaques. These didn't come from the Boy Scout office, so that's just another job that people on the committee take care of to make this program go and let everybody know how much we appreciate it. And as soon as he gets all these plaques passed out, I'd like everybody to give him a big round of applause. Wait till everybody gets them. And let them know how much that you're appreciative that the scouting program in the building has been the success it has because of these people. Now that wasn't the 4 minutes, Mr. Hand. I still have 4 minutes to come. Everybody give me a hand.
Mr. Greenwell and Mr. Franklin. Maybe we want a moment to maybe get back at the 5 minutes. You know, it is true. Michael cannot keep records or a checkbook. It is absolutely true, so very those things. Maybe you want to help.
No, in all seriousness, we do have a lot to be thankful for having Mike as Assistant Scoutmaster to Dick, and then taking over Troop 484 and being Scoutmaster for many, many years. He has several accomplishments. I believe with these 5 guys today, he'll have a total of 9 Eagle Scouts. And that takes an awful lot of work. You as parents know that all the things you do for your child between the first grade and high school, well, Mike does a lot of those very same things, just bringing them up through to an Eagle Scout program. But we have had some fun along the way. He mentioned Phillips back in 1988, and so I just had a chance to call my boy and talk to him before it came, and I said, well, what's your most memorable occasion with Mike? And he said, he slowed us down at Phillips. Well, Mike had this, I don't know, he had this way of teaching people, and I still haven't figured out today if the reason Mike slowed him down was he wanted to show him get him interested in some medical studies or what, because every time I see him for the first 2 days at Philmont, his legs were taped, he had a crutch, and he had a bow, and he even had to make him a carrier at one time, so they was going to carry him up the trailer. So I haven't figured that out yet, whether Mike was doing that to kind of see if they would go ahead and get a merit badge or he was really hurting. But the 3rd day, he just was miraculously all well. So I think the other thing about Mike is one thing I've always admired about him was his patience. I know we at home, if the dishes don't get done or something, we have a tendency to maybe jump up and do them sometimes. Mike never did that. He would always sit back. He might wait a couple hours, but he knew that nobody was going to do anything else until somebody volunteered to do the dishes. So he did, through his patience, was able to teach the boys a lot. Besides that, I think most of the parents and the kids that have came through Mike's program really feel like we have a debt of gratitude to Mike. I can mention his name when I go to any scouting event and talk to different people that are involved in scouting, and most of them know Mike Crichton, and they know that he's been a good scoutmaster because he's instilled a lot of patience in the children. He never really questions why they do things. He tries to understand. He doesn't do a whole lot of scolding. He only corrects when needed. So he has done it quite well. And I think we as a community can kind of give him a real big hand, because I'm sure that all the people here in the building are very grateful to Mike for what he's done for us.
Now that you've joined the workforce again, even though you're not teaching this year, you are sitting behind the desk. And so hopefully you'll see that. I wanted one other little comment, I guess, with Michael. Actually, in all honesty, I remember 9 years ago, well, 10 years ago now, when he had his first group of young scouts come into the troop. He did the normal ceremony where there was an evening, the lights were all down, and there was a single candle in front of the scout sign. And he had all the boys each had candles, we put the light to all the other light, the new scouts, and the scouts went and put their light to all the others. And so we started basically in almost total darkness. And after the light was passed, it was really bright. And my eardrum was stopped.
Okay, now we will get back to our Eagle program. As Master of Ceremonies, I am very happy to welcome all Scouts, Scouters, and friends of Scouting to this Court of Honor. I am proud to see that Troop 484 is on the forward march. The Eagle badges to be awarded today give ample proof that Troop 484 is alive. I have always considered advancement as the key to a good scouting unit. But when I speak of advancement, I'm not merely thinking of the individual skills that are learned to qualify, but more so of advancement in the scout spirit, which is the fruit of putting the scout law into practice. The scout badge you wear signifies to me that you have not only learned and passed certain skills, but also that your committee had judged that you are doing your best to live up to the Scout promise. The Scout uniform demonstrates to all who see that you have chosen the Scout program as a means to a better manner of living. But your badge rank signifies the degree in which you have succeeded in doing this. We expect a tenderfoot Scout to prove that he is making a sincere effort to live up to his oath and law. We expect him to make use of the opportunities presented to him to do a good turn daily so that he may be prepared to render service to God and his fellow man. To this, a scout must thereby keep himself physically strong, mentally awake, and morally straight. We now come to the part of the Troop 484 ceremony where we give recognition to the 5 candidates for the rank of Eagle Scout. The awarding of this rank is an important and serious matter. It is the goal for which a Scout has been working since he joined the Boy Scouts. It is also the crowning point of the various efforts of his Scout leaders. For this reason, it is an occasion of joy and pride. It is also a time for serious contemplation. We realize that this is the highest and most coveted ranking in all scouting. It is the last major step in the advancement program. It is proper that proof be given that proper and careful consideration has been taken in the examination of these applicants for the Eagle rank.
As the White River Trails Advancement Chairman Representative for the Hoosier Trails Council, it is my responsibility to see that only worthy candidates are admitted to the Eagle rank. Go ahead, please stand. Please escort Eagle candidates Jacob Auxier, Joshua Auxier, David Hoffmann, Kenneth Phillips, and Sewell Jr. forward. I should like to ask your Scoutmaster, Mr. Mike Gardner, what examination has been made of these applicants.
Josh joined the troop in September of 1988, Jake and David in January of 1988, Kenneth in September of 1988, and Phillips in February of 1989. All went through the process of earning tenderfoot, second class, first class, star, and 5, and earned the required merit badges, including camping, citizenship in the community, nation, and world, communications, emergency preparedness, environmental science, first aid, personal management, and safety. Each went on to earn enough optional merit badges to have at least 21 total, the minimum required for equal rank. They completed such diversified badges as archery, coin collecting, computers, fingerprinting, firemanship, scholarship, space exploration, animal science, electronics, wilderness survival, Indian lore, drafting, journalism, art, music, aviation, motorboating, and the like. Between the 5 candidates, a total of over 105 merit badges were completed. In addition to all of these badges, each has been recommended by his parents, his teachers, his religious leaders, and others on whom we rely. I believe each to be an outstanding scout of high character, possessed of good citizenship and concerned about the welfare of others, and to be a worthy representative of Scout training and ideals. As their Scoutmaster, I am willing to stake my reputation on the future performance of each of them, firm in the belief that Josh, Kenneth, David, Philip, and Jake will always strive to be a first-class citizen, always remember the sacrifices made for them by others, and always be worthy of the eagle rank.
In light of these various inquiries, I find 5 applicants qualified for eagle rank. However, if anyone knows of any reason why these scouts should not be awarded the rank of Eagle Scout, let him speak now.
I represent the Eagle Scouts and Trustees. Do not object to this badge. We believe we have the responsibility of those lines. Respectfully ask the applicant to be informed of the responsibility of the Eagle Scout.
The court concurs with your feelings. Please take these responsibilities for these applicants.
The first responsibility of the Eagle Scout is to live with honor. An eagle, honor is sacred. Honor is the foundation of all character. Character is what one really is down deep inside, not what someone thinks one is, nor what others think one is. An Eagle Scout will so live that he will reflect greater upon his home, his church, his school, his scout unit, and upon himself. The white of the Eagle badge will always remind you to live with honor. The second responsibility of the Eagle Scout is loyalty. You must be loyal to God by keeping His commandments. You must be loyal to all whom God has placed over you. With loyalty, all character lacks direction. An Eagle Scout must be loyal to his high ideas. Neither pain nor profit, pride nor personal loss shall swerve him in his loyalty. The blue of the Eagle badge should always remind you of loyalty. The third responsibility of the Eagle Scout is courage. Courage gives character, force, and strength. Trusting in God, you must face each day and each problem of the day unafraid. You must do your share of the word in such a way it always reflects the image of God according to which you were created. The red of the Eagle badge must always remind you of this courage. The final obligation of the Eagle Scout is service. He extends a helping hand to those whom still toil up the scouting trail. He has completed just as others help him. The habit of the daily turn must take on new meaning and blossom forth in a life of service to God. If the Eagle candidates are willing to assume these responsibilities, we ask them to accompany Mr. Denny Stanton to the first station. the old law, it's customary for the Jewish people to wash their hands before and upon entering the temple of God, or the home of a friend. It was also the custom of those being knighted to be laid with the water in token of washing away past misdeeds, and as a sign that they were determined to start a new life. May this be a symbol of the proper intentions and sincerity with which your hands will do a good turn. Okay, if you guys are all done, at the next station. Okay, if you would place your hand upon the Bible and repeat after me. The scout is reverent. He is reverent towards God. He is faithful in his religious duties. And respects the convictions of others in the matters of religion. Okay, now if you'll stand in front of the candle and repeat after me, the scout will face you. On my honor, do my best. To do my duty. To guard my country. To obey the scout law. To help other people at all times. Keep myself physically strong. Mentally awake. And morally straight. Mr. Chairman, we recommend that the Eagle candidates be awarded the Eagle Badge.
By the authority vested in me by the National Council, I now declare Jacob Auxier, Joshua Auxier, David Hoffmann, Kenneth Phillips, and Phillips Jr. of Loogootee Troop 484 to be Eagle Scouts and entitled to all the rights, privileges, and appetencies pertaining thereto. Will A. Denny Stanton escort the parents of the Eagle Scouts forward? which is signed by Chairman of the Court of Honor, Mr. Rick Klusner, Troop 484 Committee Chairman, Mr. Kenny Greenwell, Scoutmaster Troop 484, Mr. Mike Pridemore, and the Mayor of the City of Loogootee, Mr. Bill Parker. Mayor Parker, will you now present the citation of the Blue Eagle Scouts?
It is an honor to have been given this opportunity to present this Eagle Scout citation to these scouts, as I know they have worked very hard and studied very hard in order to obtain this rank. And in addition to the Eagle Scout citation, I have a packet for each scout containing congratulatory letters from our local congressman, senator, and the President of the United States.
We extend our congratulations to the new Eagle Scouts and to all who have assisted them in qualifying for this recognition. To their leaders, teachers, and especially to their parents, we pay tribute for their contribution to the character of these Eagle Scouts. While the father would like to think he has been a major factor in his son's welfare, we know down deep in our hearts that his mother has made the most lasting impression on her son. In token of this fact, and in remembrance of this happy occasion, fellow Scout Troop 484 invite the Eagle Scouts to present a facade and miniature eagle pin to his mother. we ask that the new Eagle Scout present the Eagle tie clasp to his father. If the parents will be seated, we will ask Mr. Richard Bluesner to give the Eagle charge to the new Eagle Scouts.
Before I get started, I want to tell you, David, that Mr. Primal thought you would take that mother's pin and put it in your mother's ears. That's really good. You boys actually put the tie back in your father's tie. I couldn't believe that either. I have the honor to give you the Eagle Charge on the occasion of your elevation to the highest award in Scouting. The Scouts of all nations constitute one of the most wholesome and significant movements in the world's history. You have been judged by the Boy Scouts of America as being worthy of this honor. All who know you rejoice in your achievement. Your position, as you well know, is one of honor and responsibility. You are a marked man. As an Eagle Scout, you have assumed a solemn obligation to do your duty to God, to country, to your fellow scouts, and to mankind in general. This is a great undertaking. As you live up to your obligations, you bring honor to yourself and to your brother scouts. America has many good things to give you and your children after you. But these good things depend, for the most part, on the quality of your citizens. Our country has had a great past. You can help make the future even greater. I charge you to undertake your citizenship with a solemn dedication. Be a leader, but lead only towards the best. Lift up every task you do and every office you hold to the high level of service to God and your fellow man. So live and serve that those who know you will be inspired to finally live. We have too many who use their strength and their brains to exploit others and to gain selfish ends. I charge you to be among those who dedicate their skills and ability to the common good. Build America on the solid foundation of clean living, honest work, unselfish citizenship, and reverence for God. And whatever others may do, you will leave behind you a record of which every other scout may be justly proud. David Auxier, Josh Auxier, David Hoffmann, Kenneth Phillips, and Phillips Sewell, you dedicated yourselves earlier by repeating the Scout oath. Resolve to uphold forever its principles with the same ambition and perseverance that have brought you this far. Your conduct along the trail has been excellent. You have rededicated yourself to the principles of scouting. But one more thing is important, your future. As an Eagle Scout, you became a guide to other Scouts. You became an example in your community. Remember that your actions are now a little more conspicuous and people will expect more from you. To falter in your responsibility would reflect not only on you, but on your fellow Eagles and all of Scouting. The torch you carry is not only yours, but it is ours.
Representative of the Eagles, please come forward.
Mr. and Mrs. Klusner are usually two people who are working behind the scenes from our perspective. But they have given much of their time to help this program. Because of it, many of the Eagles Scouts here today, including myself, were able to go to Belmont, and they also helped put together this program. And in our appreciation, we'd like to present this gift. Would you please come up here, Mr. and Mrs. Klusner? Seriously though, Mr. Prideman is one of the biggest influences of each of us that have made it. At times he had to push us quite forcibly, but he always believed we could do it. Not only did he tell us how to do things, he also served as an example. It's my honor to present to Mr. Prideman this gift of appreciation.
I'd like to call an agreement Mike Prideman to come up here and read the closing. Would all Scouts and Scouters please come forward at this time for Scout Vespers?
Yeah, we'd like to get everybody up as scouting now, if you're a former Scouter. I would like to recognize our district executives who made it in. We've got some honored guests from Phillips, Scoutmaster from Washington, Scoutmaster from Oakland here, and again, anybody that's been connected. Probably for as long as scouting has been around, Scout Vespers has been a part of it. And basically, we ask everybody that's involved in scouting or has been to get in a big circle and leave one spot open. And cross your right hand over your left. And I guess I get to lead it.
And
This now concludes the ceremony. We thank each of you for attending and your interest in the Boy Scouts. We invite all present to the reception for the new Eagle Scouts and their parents to be held immediately following in St. John Center, lower level. You'll have to enter from the east side. And for Mike,